This conference
The
will now be
agenda
recorded.
is a request of funding from the Vicksburg Ambulance and Rescue Squad. They're asking for an additional increase to what we give them every year. They're asking for $2,000, which would be one half and 1,000 second half. One thing I've talked to Rachel about it, and we would probably have enough money in the budget for next fiscal year to do this. But the only consideration that you have to take into effect is if we give the rescue company the $2,000 additional, we would be required to give the fire company an additional $2,000 too. We always do both companies the same way. So
I believe you guys had a general consensus to do this in the regular meeting, but it wasn't an agenda item, so it's now on the agenda so that you can formally vote.
I'm in favor of that, if you wanted it the motion or just to
Yeah,
incorporate
motion,
it in the budget to increase both the fire and rescue and the ambulance and rescue companies by
Do I-
2,000 annual giving.
do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to increase the rescue company and the fire company an additional $2,000 a year in next year's budget. All in favor, any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, abstained, motion carries. We have a second request from the rescue company. I don't know where you are aware, but they are in the process of upgrading their current station. They're adding new offices, large room where they can use as a meeting, a training room. Some additional upgrades to their bunks. And they've outgrew the station that they're in now. They need to go to another one. The cost to upgrade the new building is $6 million. They're asking the town, would we be interested in donating them $100,000 towards their new building. Open for discussion.
Mr. Nelson?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Since
they're
you're the
funding
one
it, they have,
representative.
already towards the expansion, or I guess they're mortgaging it, or.
Nelson can answer that better than I can. He's
It's still in the process of either a line of credit or a loan. It's huge. Quite frankly, I don't know if it's going to be 6 million, but I can see a good 4.5 with change orders, maybe even 5. It's going to be hard to build something like that without change orders, although we've gone over and over and made multiple changes. There's always going to be things pop up that will create a change order. And that's the demon that we don't like to deal with, but it's inevitable, I believe. I don't like to be negative. But we will, I'm not sure yet, because I haven't heard the discussion of what the length of loan they're looking for, or if the line of credit, how it's going to work out. We have probably right now, I'm going to say $600,000, $700,000 to start. So the rest of it will be borrowed, and it'll be paid back over whatever years we have to pay it back. But it's inevitable. If I would encourage each of you to sometime walk out there sometime and look. When you have a supplies closet that was a utilities closet, it held brooms and mops, and now it's got the supplies in it. When you had the supplies office, it now has two offices, or two, the chief and the president in that area. and sometimes the maintenance officer. His files are in there. The other office or the other room, wasn't even a room, is payroll and all the records for finance. When you have a meeting, it displaces everybody. Paid staff has to go out in the bay, or paid staff usually goes out in the bay. I don't say they have to, they can sit around or sit there and listen. But the expansion is sorely needed.
Is there any state or county help that's coming? Like, because of,
We have been in contact with Quarterman's office. I'm not sure what is, as of right now, the only help we have gotten that I am positive of is, I think it's $125,000 from Nor Roberts. Other than that, we have had no money for sure.
Was that part of the 600,000 to 700,000 you said you already had on hand, or is that,
No.
that's on top of it?
No. That's in addition. That was only, the only reason I'm aware of that, because we haven't met it, we will meet Monday. The only reason I knew about that I saw an email come out from Mary Jane.
Let me ask you this, do they need 100,000 all at once, or can it be spread out? They probably need it pretty bad.
Well, it could, if they know it, it could lower what, there's a very, we don't know what either program is gonna give us, whether it's a line of credit or whether it's a but it certainly will help to have it up front, that we don't have to use borrowed money. I've stayed out of the, I want to say the fundraising side of it, because I've been more concerned with the facility itself, making sure, or trying to make sure that it's will satisfy another 40 or 50 years. The new bay, it will now hold, it could conceivably hold packed. It could hold 4, 5, 6 vehicles instead of the 3 that we got. But when we look at the development that's inevitable over the next 40 years, we see right now we run 2 crews weekly during the day, and 24/7 the rest of the time. In the near future, I can see easily 2 crews 24 hours a day, and in probably 10 years, maybe another crew during the day, or whenever you never predict when you need that emergency. So when that call goes out, you try to be ready. And we, even with what we do now in staffing, we'll miss probably 15, maybe 20 calls a month due to both ambulances being out, or at least one being out and the crew not being on the weekend.
Well, Nelson, I'm gonna say, your old friend. So, you're on the Utilities Commission now, right? We're right in the midst of preparing the FY27 budget. You're on utilities, as I said. We are potentially, saying this for everyone else, not you, $1 million short on a project down here, Crestview. Potentially, you know.
All right.
And for everybody else, we're short, and we don't even know how much short yet, potentially several $100K on a new water line that we have to replace from the square down to King Road.
More.
Chase 6 out here is coming, where the road's coming across. The town has a big financial obligation there. And frankly, we overpaid for the house we had to buy to get that done, just to demolish the house. You're well aware of a lot of this stuff. So I feel for you. The English company is very important. But I don't think right now we can commit to anything until we at least get to see what this FY 27 budget looks like. And maybe, as the mayor suggested, maybe over some period of time, we could continue this
Well,
discussion. But right now,
I'll speak from, I have an interest here and I have an interest out there.
I understand.
And it's hard for me to, but I'll say this, if I'm making the decision, anything down the road will help. It doesn't have, I hope I can say this, it's not gonna stop us from doing it.
Is there any plan, you think, maybe as these cost estimates come in, that they would think of scaling back a little bit?
We have to an extent. There are things that we could, but inevitably, it'll be. I was just looking at the paperwork the other day. 2015, we were gonna do some changes and we were gonna do probably a third of what I don't even know if it's a third of what we're doing now. And it wasn't even, it was just to get us up to what we needed, not to what we're going to need. And that was, I think, 2,015,2.15, I think. And we said we didn't have money.
Well, stuff's probably doubled since then.
And we haven't added that much on except the extra bay. The office space has pretty much stayed the same. We have added the bunk area and the lounge area in what I call the responders area. But quite frankly, I've been one to on that side of it to say, don't cut back, because it's only going to cost you more next year or 2 years from now or 3 years from now when you go to add on to what you just added on to 3 or 4 years ago or previously. I mean, most of all, would be upset if you know of a project that needs to be done, but yet you can't afford it, so you put it off, and 3 years later, you have to do it, and it costs you 60-70% more. So the same thing applies to us. We're not going to do it any cheaper.
Well, like I said,
And it's
I mean, I feel for you, I know what you're trying to do. I don't think I'll let some other people speak, but I don't think I'm not saying no, never.
Oh, no,
But
no.
I don't think now is the time, honestly, but let's go somewhere else for just a second.
When you, you're speaking, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, how did y'all come up with 100K? Do you really want 50, but you just said for?
Oh, no.
They're telling me like they would like down another zero and ask for a million because we got short, but they knew we probably would.
But no, I don't know, and here again, being on the board of directors, I don't know how they chose that. That was a building, I guess, improvement committee decision to write the letters. I wasn't aware of that.
Let some of my colleagues here speak what they have to say. See what they say.
I just wanted to ask, have you looked at, I'm sure you have, the mission of your organization down the road, what I see in there is, you got a heavy rescue squad and 6 has a rescue engine.
We don't have a rescue squad.
Oh, you don't have a rescue engine?
No, we got rid of it because it was an eater.
Okay, so is there, because I've talked to, individuals before, is there a need to continue that squad? Is the squad scratching calls or?
The squad is not in business, it's gone.
Yeah.
It went to North Carolina.
Oh, okay. When that happened?
Oh, 5-6 months ago.
Okay. So you're just talking about ambulance only?
We have 2 ambulances and we have a truck which pulls the ATV truck. We cannot, here's an example. We cannot put 2 ambulances in one bay because when you close, or the bumper to bumper, there's no room to walk around because of the size of the ambulances that have improved or not longer, we now can't put 2 ambulances in a bay. So we're bumping the front of the bays out. I think it's 10 feet, 12 feet, something like that, just to be able to, at some point, park more than 4 vehicles. Because the intent is it's if, and this is, you have to think down the road. When you do drive, we'll be doing drive-through. Hopefully at some point we'll come in back at Dollar General and go in one way and come out the other. And we can pull the next 2 ambulance up and pull the other one in behind it if we need that space. Or we can just use each bay. But yeah, it's.
I'm just asking this
It's
question,
tight.
because I know, I come from Prince George's County. I was a firefighter there before becoming a police officer. And, you know, EMS and fire were always in the same house. And this is an interesting thing that you have out here where they're separate. You know, I'd love to see that consolidated, but I know the history on it. And so, yeah, I don't know what the result of that. Have you ever thought about, you know, consolidation
With,
with fire?
we started that way. That's
I
where this
never
started.
got shut down. You ever thought about revisiting that? I mean, it seems to me.
It's-
Well, yeah, it got revisited when there was offer about land and building
Yes,
one all
yeah.
together and
I know.
everybody
It's
fell
right.
out.
How,
Yeah. We tried.
I think it's a dead end.
Yeah.
Because we wanted, our intent was, and I really thought it was gonna happen, but it ended up saying no. So that's when we decided, because we had the ground, to improve what we have to satisfy EMS needing or needs over the next 40 years.
We still have Catherine that helps us grant writing. I mean, is it appropriate for us to ask her to keep a lookout for grants that would be able to go towards that? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if we have enough hours for her to fill out the application, but she's on a variety of lists that she could keep an eye out for specific things that would be helpful.
We work with a grants writer. We'll talk to
We have
her.
one also.
Oh, you do have
oh,
one?
you got one, okay. I was
We've
gonna
got
say,
quite a few grants, and as far as I know, there have been some.
Okay.
But like I say, I don't hear that part of it,
Okay.
because it's not something that is firm, I guess, or is.
Well, see, that's the kind of stuff that I think we need to know. Like, if you're asking for 100,000, where did that number come from? It's like, we're the bank and you're asking for money.
I
But I want to
understand.
see like financials,
Oh.
like how much you all make during fundraisers, that kind of stuff.
I understand totally where you're at.
You normally can go on the website and see that when they have, at the end of the carnival and all, they normally post all that.
I mean, you know.
But they,
all
I'm
our-
not just talking carnival. I mean, they do a lot of other fundraisers where they're making some money.
Well,
Well, the mailers are down now since, the mailers that you used to mail out to South County, that's down now since, Company 8 has an ambulance in that area, so they lost all that South County donations for fundraisers.
I mean, I feel like we need to consider it, but I think we have to
Yeah, we
fund
gotta
our
find out.
intersection, Crestview, Potomac Street lines and all, and
You
see
know,
where we
once-
stand.
Once we
So,
figure out
you
where
know.
we stand, that we may be able to.
I understand that, and I totally.
And
I
just
totally-
keep
I
in
will
mind, if
convey
you give
that.
a grant to the
I will
ambulance, the
convey
fire
that
company's
to the
gonna
board.
want
That's
And
correct.
that
Well,
Give it to one, we gotta
So, just have to figure
Yeah,
out that.
It's not gonna be 100,000,
Sure.
it's gonna be 200,000.
Absolutely. Yes, you can. I do not have a problem with that, Nelson.
And you know I don't.
So, I agree with Mary Lou. After we get in with Eric, the rest of the council agrees on that. See where we stand at, once we get these projects, final cost of them all. Maybe we can come up with something.
And again, it doesn't hurt to ask as these developers are making
Nope. it doesn't.
requests to say,
It doesn't
you know,
ask them too.
can you help? Because it's gonna require expansion of the,
Yep.
you know, our emergency services. They're gonna need some donations.
Anybody else have any other comments?
Thank you for what you do.
Yep. Thank you. Memorandum of understanding between the town of Boonesborough and the Boonesborough Town Alliance.
Okay, so in the regular meeting, when we had last discussed the LOA, that would be between the DHCD and the EDC and the DTA. You guys had indicated that you'd like to have an MOU with the DTA just to lay out the specifics, so we drafted that, I sent it to you guys, and we just need a vote now. Did you guys, Terry, I didn't think to send it to Terry
Yeah, we
before
just got
today. Okay. Do you want to take a minute to look over it, see if you have any concerns? Do you want them to vote that they're in agreement with it, and then if there's an issue, bring it back?
Is there anything within yours that we want to add?
Was it sent to DTA or is it sent to EDC?
I sent it to Terry.
And it's been on the website
Yeah, I
since,
sent it to the EDC.
last week.
No, I didn't see it.
Exactly.
So,
Well, I can tell you, I used the draft that I think you might have been on the email, Ken, that Kristen had sent out. So I
Yeah.
used her template, and the main things that I think I took out a couple of things that didn't really apply to our situation. The main things that I added, that the, under local government responsibilities, we will provide in-kind services for events and or activities that are held in the town of Boonesborough and open to the general public. And I specified that because the town has to support things that are open to, like, it can't just be a membership kind of thing. It needs to be open to anyone wanting to go. I did clarify, so under funding and financial accountability, that the local government will provide in-kind services for events as scheduling and budgeting allows. And the main reason that I put that in there was for situations like we're in right now, where Public Works had to be plowing till 4 o'clock this morning. One guy was puking out of his truck because he had the flu, but we were short-staffed and he still had to come in and do it. We're down a guy because we're in the process of hiring to replace him. And,
We have another guy that just got out of the
Yeah.
hospital.
oh, yeah, well, yeah, I was gonna say that somebody else got married, so he was off. So I just wanted to have coverage for situations like that. I think that we've worked very well in the past together. We've done our best to have Public Works help you guys. I just wanted to have some coverage for us, that if we're in a situation like this, that I would be able to say no, essentially.
Yeah, working with Greg and those guys has been great with the different events that we've had over the course of the past 5, 6, 7 years.
Just making sure there wasn't anything. Then I also, the local government reserves the right to limit staff time contributed to Main Street events and or activity if there are scheduling conflicts or personnel limitations. So just an extension of that in a different category or under a different subtitle. I think those were the main things that I added to what was already provided by the state. Did you get a copy?
Well, and the other, because it says amendments may be made, but only by written agreement between parties. This would at least be a start for us tonight, since we're up against the deadline, and if they find a problem, they could bring back an amendment and we could vote whether they want to change it or not.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't see anything that jumps out at me.
no,
I mean, we were all good with it, I think we all.
Well, the only thing is, to be honest, you all don't meet that often, so do you really need quarterly meetings?
I think that, wait, are you talking about,
Communication and,
I think that was just expected that, since you have, Nakoma, are you the liaison between the EDC and the BTA?
I
So it would kind of cover in the every other month meeting that the EDC has, then Natoma would just give an update in that. I didn't, let me find that. What page
That's
is it
in-
on?
Great.
5. Yeah, page 3.
Okay, yeah,
Communication
it-
coordination, section 5.
So that's what I meant by that. If it
Okay.
needs to be clear, I can change the wording, but it was just kind of expected that she would do what she already does and give little, updates and things.
The only thing I was gonna say, Rachel, two little things. I know you said this was a template that you took somewhere on the first page. Number 3, roles and responsibilities, Main Street organization responsibilities. Excuse my dumbness here, is that really the BTA or is it the EDC or a combination of both?
The Main Street organization is the Boonesboro Town Alliance.
So maybe we should say that.
Well, it says
it
that up here in the
Oh, it says that
definition.
up there.
Yeah,
Well, I did see it up
yeah,
there. Well, and I guess that was my point.
yeah.
To be consistent, should we say the same thing down here?
Well, it says in parentheses, Main Street.
Yeah, see, that's kind of how you do documents going forth, then that's who those parties are referred to.
Well, it was 2 weeks ago. when I read it, so
I understand.
So my final comment, under B, number 5. Provide in-kind services for events and or activities that are held in the town of Woodward and open to the general public. Do we want to say as time allows to give us a little bit of an out, the same way you did down here as scheduling and budgeting allows?
Well, I think that meant like, as long as we like came and volunteered and did things, because I think that's part of the, we have to be working together
That's cool.
thing, right?
I just don't like anything to be up to someone's interpretation.
Yeah,
So that was all.
I think that was part of a requirement that Main Street requires the government that you work with this group.
Well, always worry about what in-kind services means. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I think we talked about that, and it's like, like if the mayor helps serve, what I mean, beer, wine at the
We did talk about.
thing,
about-
you know what I mean, if volunteers come help and do things.
Yeah, we're actually asking you to do nothing.
What
Yeah,
is that?
We're actually-
we're actually-
Do nothing.
We're actually asking you to do nothing.
Oh, asking us for you guys to sign it up.
For your support.
Because I know at one point when this turned out, salary for the manager,
Yeah.
Main Street manager. We've pretty much secured at least half that salary already for the first 3 years. And that was just going to our first business. So we don't foresee a problem with that either. So just, for your mind, we should be.
We've got a very good game plan. going.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually working well.
Well, I'll make the motion to accept the memorandum of understanding with the town of Boonesboro and the town of Lynn.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Abstained. Motion carried.
Thank you.
You know what, if
Thank you
you
all.
guys,
Thank you.
who, Ron, I'm sorry. I'm pointing.
He would be signing.
Okay,
Yes,
do you want to go ahead and do that now?
Yeah.
And then I can I can have Howard sign it and get it back to Kristen tomorrow morning.
Now, is that the MOU or do we have to sign
That's the
bins?
MOU,
Do
and then
they
you
have
can
to sign
sign
the
1
Main
minute,
Street
you have to
letter
sign the
too,
LOA.
so we have to approve that.
That's it.
It's done and all that.
It's on my license, too.
Today's the 9th. All right, thanks, sir.
Terry went.
Okay, next item, Main Street, Main Street Maryland Letter of Agreement.
So again, this is the letter that was on the agenda at the regular meeting a couple weeks ago. But this, you guys did not want to sign until the MOU was in place.
Does Ron need to
Yeah,
sign
somebody
it
needs to sign that too once we.
This is different than what I just signed?
Yes, it's different.
Now you're agreeing.
That is assuming that you guys are in agreement with it.
Have you all had time to read over it?
It's the same one
Yeah.
from 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
I make a motion to approve the Main Street Maryland letter of agreement.
We have a motion and a second.
Who was my second? I'm sorry.
Ray.
Ray second.
Ray did.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, abstained, motion carries.
Ron, if you'll sign that, then you can go enjoy reading. It's 2:20.
Yeah, that's, you put March 23rd. I wish it was.
Why?
Like, yeah.
Because then they, we're gonna have white stuff on the ground.
Congratulations.
Almost ready to read too. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along. Cost and yield tax rate for fiscal year 2027.
So we got the projection that was, that comes down from SDAT, and the rate to continue with the same amount of revenue that we got last year is that we're projected to get is 0.3385. That rate is less than what we are already charging, which we are already charging 0.33. No, I'm sorry, thank you, 0.3591. Just need you guys to vote,
Well, I don't think we can vote on tax rate without having a public meeting about it. So I think.
does it need to be a hearing?
Does not
No,
have
no,
to
it
be
has to be a
hearing, I
hearing,
think we
but
just do
it
need
has
to
to
allow
be-
public comment and put it out there. I was just making sure we need to vote on it in time that, because by the time we do our budget and we incorporate it in the budget, it's not always before the time we have to certify our tax rate to the county for them to prepare our tax bills.
Okay.
So as you're working numbers, maybe you want a consensus or, you know, if you want to put it on March meeting to vote on the tax rate, I'm good with that.
And we don't need to have a public hearing, because we only have to do
No.
the advertisement and
Unless you
everything.
want to raise the rate,
Unless
if
you
it
raise
was
the
decided we need to raise the rate, we would have to have a public hearing. to raise the
Okay,
rate.
all right.
You used to have to have a public hearing if you weren't gonna go with the constant yield, but they did change that. So, but I don't think we're allowed to vote on it without having public comment. So,
We'll move that to our March meeting. Okay, moving right along. Participation in Sharpsburg Memorial Day Parade, which is Saturday, May the 23rd. You have to be at the elementary school at 1 o'clock. The parade starts at 2. We've participated in the past. I'll read this here.
the 250th year, people, yeah,
It
do
is.
big.
So I don't need to have everyone who will be attending, I just need to know if you guys are going to participate in it. And if you plan, I assume that you would all walk or ride, because that's what you normally do, right? So I just would need to know if you're going to participate, if you're all gonna be riding, and if you're gonna play music. Oh, and what type of vehicle you're gonna be in.
Play music.
It asks, you're gonna be playing music during the parade.
Say no on the music?
Haven't you ever seen those little twirlers with the trucks in front of them and huge speakers blaring
So
down the
that, it's so they don't put music people back to back in their music.
That's
It's to space the parade to the
Put us
music.
far away from that.
I would say we would ride, we're not gonna play music, but I have committed my car to someone else's use, so I don't
Or
know,
looks
we're
like
gonna have to have another convertible or. Jeep or
Have a Ricky
something,
pickup
or-
truck.
Huh?
Maybe he's not
Pickup
big
truck or, huh?
I might want to check my driveway, I don't have a truck.
No music.
I got trucks.
I have trucks and.
Oh, that's right.
You got that committed to both days.
We'll find some.
Just put vehicles on the tractor trailer.
Vehicle TBD.
Okay, so would you like,
Or check with the Washington County Antique Tractor Club and see if you can get them to put you all on one of their tractors.
Ooh.
And then that way they're represented in the parade in addition to bringing you along for the ride.
I think that I can just, I mean, it says number and type of vehicle, so if I just put it's gonna be one personal vehicle.
Yeah.
I think that'll be
Yeah, I
fine,
think that
but
covers,
you're
I think they're
definitely-
just needing to know if it's a tractor, if it's a, you know.
They like to brag about
trailer,
how
but
many entries. they
Horses, you know what I mean, stuff like that.
So you're definitely doing it.
Somebody will.
That's all I need to know.
We have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What about on a combine? You have one of those?
have. And check with Nate, he's got resources.
In consideration of pay increases for mayor and council.
So this is on the agenda because someone had, what?
Would you like to have the conversation after we're out of the?
No, I don't even know where
Okay.
this is.
I know, I wanna let her talk.
I was, yeah, I want to hear what.
We'll get, if we get over this, we can do council updates, and Terry's gonna let her know her council update. We've already worked out it.
Oh, okay, I see where it is.
So what I was going to say was that somebody mentioned that there is not a tremendous amount of interest in serving on the council, and would having a higher rate of pay for council members make more people want to sign up, make more people be interested in being on it? Would it promote better engagement? So I had brought it up with the personnel committee. Personnel committee did not feel comfortable making that decision. They felt it should be open to the entire council. So at their recommendation, it's on the council workshop.
And one thing to explain to the people that's in the audience, the whole council does not get the raise. The only council members that actually get the raise that is running for office this election. So myself, Mary Lee, and Ray would not be included on that. We would not be eligible for an increase until we ran again in 2 years, which would be 2028. So the only ones that are eligible, you cannot technically in a municipality post yourself a raise. So the only ones we get to raise would be the new people we get elected for assistant mayor and the 3 council seats would be the only ones that would get it. I want to make that perfectly clear. We are not voting ourselves a raise.
So let's table it until I'm eligible.
Well, I'm not in favor. You don't do this job for the money. You have to like
I
do
said
a
it
lot
to
of
you.
money.
Right. We gave ourselves a 100%
Put in, so we
increase.
need
It's
to
still
do it
not
to
enough big stuff.
support the community. And if their motivation is only because of money, I'm sorry, I don't think I
You could give us a 500% increase and it wouldn't
So
make an issue.
I'm not
That's-
interested in considering.
Doesn't mean that we don't.
Our budget's tightened up. I'd rather give the money to the ambulance company than pay us.
What is, out of curiosity, when is the last time the council pay was adjusted?
It's been a very, very long
What,
time.
30 years
We
ago?
discussed this at first commission,
Yeah.
and nobody had that answer, and I don't.
I have never increased it,
Probably about
and that'll be
30
20 years.
Probably been about 30 years.
And
I
what
think
is it
I've been
currently?
on the council for 10 years when they.
I'm sorry?
What is it currently?
The council gets $300 quarterly,
$100 a month.
and the mayor gets it's 900 quarterly, and then the treasurer gets 250.
So.
And you think this is why election response has been,
I don't think that. Someone else brought it up and said maybe it would promote better engagement. Let's talk about it. So we're talking.
And it was from outside the town.
No, it wasn't outside town, it was me.
I was gonna say, I told you I'd be there. I told you you'd be there.
I was trying to hide it. Listen, I brought it up as a joke. I really didn't know she was gonna put it on the agenda.
So do you want a motion or what do you want?
And, yeah.
I'm making a motion to
I
not
don't
consider paying
want
to-
anything. I really don't care.
This is
It's
a
only
discussion.
because the personnel committee said have the council talk about it. We did raise the commission member wages last year because they were abysmal. So.
And that
you know,
hasn't helped them either.
That didn't help.
It
This
didn't
one
help
didn't help.
commissions,
You either wanna do it or you
except for the
don't.
BEC.
Okay, we have a motion not to go through with the pay increase. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Abstained, motion carries. Ma'am?
Yeah, so I.
Go
You can.
ahead, thank
Council
you.
updates are ready.
Thank you.
Sorry, you had to sit through all that.
No, it's fine, it's interesting, I appreciate it. My name is Spice Cromie. I live right here on Main Street, and I am the Secretary of Record for BEC. More importantly, for this meeting, I am a 3-time JFK 50 finisher, 2-time gold medalist, which is top 100 females. And I have such pride in living here in Boonesboro. And when I found something out about JFK, I brought it to my friend Carrie here, and she said that you guys would be interested in hearing this. The JFK, who is run by Mike Spindler, has been in effect in basically the same course, which starts right here, for 63 years. This will be the 64th year. When he went to apply to Washington County for his grant to support EMS and police along the route in Washington County, which he has been getting for approximately 15 years, he was told no. They had never communicated that they were pulling that grant from the JFK. No one ever communicated it with anyone related to the race. And so now there's a problem. It's approximately, excuse me, $20,000 per year that has always been granted to the JFK to provide these services. When the JFK directors found out about this, they approached Frederick County almost as a lark to see if they would do it, and Frederick County said yes. So JFK has already routed a map in fully Frederick County. It will start in Middletown, come up South Mountain, so we've increased road from 2.5-ish miles to almost 6.5 miles. Get on the AT, which is the normal course for the AT, that's 13 miles on the AT. You get off at Weaverton, and instead of going towards Williamsport, which would be back into Washington County, it goes the other direction, still on the canal, finishing the race in Frederick County. This is a travesty. I don't like this. It negatively impacts everything about Boonesboro. The race itself raises a lot of money for all the towns located within Washington County that support this race. It's Packet Pickup is in Hagerstown. All of those hotels there in Hagerstown host many, many of those racers. You've got restaurants that are, going to lose out on all the money, the hotels, the hospitality, the rental cars, everything that supports not just the racers, but the crew and all the people who come in and cheer them on.
The race brings in approximately $1.2 million into our community. As she said, through restaurants and hotels and motel tax, which benefit us.
Did their police department help you out this past year?
Ours,
Boonesboro?
yes.
Boonesboro.
Just,
we can't, just.
Yes, yeah, just as an
start.
escort, I think only even to the end of town.
Right
The end of
to
town.
the circle, yeah.
Yes,
they
that's correct.
escort you there, yeah.
That's correct. And then
Yeah.
we have an escort service that takes us up to South Mountain, and then they drop us off.
The sheriff's department, was the sheriff's department?
Brunswick High School.
Brunswick High
What
School.
What, was it the sheriff's department? I told you
No, it's
it
the
wasn't.
county
It's
commissioners
the
have
county commissioner.
given out the preliminary budget, and they feel that the JFK race has funds and hasn't provided what their funding
That's
is.
correct.
Is the town of Williamsport aware
That
of this too?
they're up against, the county
not-
commissioners are up against funding what's coming from Annapolis that has been thrown back to counties, municipalities. So it's
Yes.
just like everybody, it's a budget struggle.
It is a budget struggle, and we and they do understand this, absolutely. And I'm not sure that it's 100% about the total budget. It was about the lack of communication, and then, the handcuffs come on, and the race is imminent. Race sign up is March 1st. And currently, on the website, it still shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. So you're signing up for a Boonesboro race, and if they don't receive the funding for it, then it's gonna be moved to JFK, to
Frederick County.
Frederick County, excuse me.
Do they want to stay here?
Does
Who?
JFK?
Well, yes, we want to.
No, we want.
No, I don't know if they want
It's-
committee.
It's dangerous, I mean, what they're
Well,
proposing.
no, the committee said
is-
that route would stay first, but they told the county commissioners.
I'm unsure about that.
On the
That's
road,
what I
remember-
was told by the
remember runner,
county
as a former runner 50
I don't know
pounds
that
ago,
it's legitimate argument.
you don't want to run on the road.
No, it's a
And
drag race.
the C&O Canal is a great, I think it's a dangerous move to put it out there.
Well, I think the bigger,
Unhealthy.
Yes, so there's a number of issues. Obviously, the economic impact, negative economic impact just for Boonesboro, not necessarily for the whole of Washington County and all the towns and cities that are contained within. This is our pride. We have plaques in the sidewalks.
Yes, we
Not
do.
just race.
This race has always started right,
Yes,
right
yeah.
on our front door.
I hosted
I
four
checked.
people.
Yes, yes, I do pee patrol.
Yes.
Terry,
I have two.
Terry has, like I said, I live across the street, Ron knows where I live. We host up to 50 people at our house in the morning to start the race. I crew the race now that I'm no longer racing it. Our company, Cloud Splitter Coffee, is a vendor for the race, and we provide the coffee services and the trailer along Washington County. So we have a permit for Washington County for service out of, if it moves to Frederick, we're gonna lose out. So this is very personal for me. But on top of that, Washington County did not communicate that they were pulling those funds. Now, this year, we will still get half of those funds. They've decided to divert half the funds to Hub City Half, which is it's a half marathon race located in Washington County. Next year, those funds will be halved again and then split in two again. So Hub City will get 5,000, we will get 5,000, and then after that, it's no longer gonna be done. So I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for loans. I'm not asking for any of that. I'm asking for outcry. I'm asking for
Absolutely.
influence. Thank you, for influence with Washington County Commissioners.
Well, but here's my point though.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they just put up the race registration sum to cover?
So.
I mean, like, to me, some of the outcry needs to go to the race committee
It
to
has.
not break their tradition and move it to another county, because then all the
Yes.
records change.
Yes,
You know what I mean? It's
Yes,
a
I
whole
do.
Big different thing, and I get it,
yes, I do.
but I mean,
Exactly.
And we
it's
have,
not that huge amount of money when you're talking about like 2,500 racers.
yes, and it's actually not 2,500, it's 1,200.
Oh, 1,200, okay,
Yes,
sorry.
but, and that has been discussed as well, and that's not what I'm here for.
Okay.
So the committee, the race committee, Mike Spindler, his wife, the communications director, who's one of my very good friends, and that's how I found out about this. They are doing their part as well. It's not just me out here like shepherding the entire ship. But because I do work for the BEC and I wanted to come to the town council, I wanted to come to the mayor and let you guys know that this was happening. And Terry indicated that she didn't know about it, and I don't know if you guys.
No, we didn't.
I knew once Terry told us, and then I talked to him.
Of course. So that was really my whole purpose in coming here, was just to inform you and give you some more information about it. And I guess push for a little bit of feedback to the Washington County Commissioners. I don't know.
Yeah, I
how
know
to-
Mike, I was at his house for the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
We did a advertisement for Boonesboro, him and I,
Yeah.
for the race that year.
Great man.
Yes, he was. And then we put the plaques out here too for the
Yeah.
official starting line. Now you're gonna take the starting line from us.
Yeah.
Is the funding that normally comes from the county, is it just a budget line item, or is it hotel rental tax funding that he applies for each year?
That's it.
Okay.
Yes. And I don't understand all of it. I
The
can't.
hotel rental tax is something that you have to apply for each year, and
Yes.
it's not a guarantee in
It's
any
not.
way, shape, or form. And it
That's true.
also is the expectation that it's more of a startup cost, and then over time, you would secure other sources of funding and not be dependent on it.
Yes,
So
that's absolutely true. You're 100% correct. I think the whole thing was that they had no idea that it was happening this year.
So Spice, you've lost the money, but not the opportunity to use the services. So
It's my
police and
understanding they're not gonna
ambulance-
pay for the police to do.
But if we
which
have the
I'm
money,
not
they're gonna,
yeah.
it can be
Oh,
paid
yes,
for.
yes.
I'm
yes.
just making sure that there's
Yes, that's-
staff available to do what they're asking.
As far as I know, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
if
think
they-
that was the issue.
Yeah, and I don't know if they've been
I
approached
think
yet.
it's just exactly what Rachel explained.
If you didn't have the county last year and we helped you to the roundabout and you had an escort, who picked you up coming out of, off of, through Downsville and all to get into Williamsport?
The sheriff.
It was the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
But it
But
wasn't.
they couldn't help you down this end.
No, so they don't actually escort us there, they just stand at the roadways. Especially where traffic is coming across. We don't have any escorts there. Yes, they do provide the service at intersections. I think there's three intersections.
I always thought they led you all up the mountain,
They do, they lead us at the mountains and then they drop us off and lead us to our own right.
but they didn't lead you up the mountain last year?
They did,
Oh,
but
they
it's
did.
a private escort.
Oh, private.
After the circle, it's a private escort to the top. And it's,
But we can't.
no, exactly. And that's understood. And it's been that way ever since. But they only lead the lead racer who is with fast. So it's a very short period of time. I mean, obviously it does take distance, but it's a very short period of time. And then the rest of us are just on our own device. We know to stay to the right because traffic is still coming down.
So will the JFK organization that you're involved with, will they not step up and they don't have the funds to eat this cost to make it happen?
So I think that was Marilee.
Yeah, Marilee.
Marilee, I think that was her comment as well before. I don't know, and I'm not involved in that part.
I mean, other
So
than the fact that
possibly.
you're not asking us for money, we understand that.
Correct.
You're just asking us to advocate that the JFK still start here, which that's not an issue. But I just want to make sure that the organization cares as much, like,
Oh,
are they
yes.
gonna fund what they aren't gonna get the money for, so that it does happen and it's gonna happen here?
Yes, so the whole intent is to keep it here. It's been mapped out in Frederick just in case. And Frederick has agreed to it just in case. So I think in the end, it will likely stay here. I hope it does.
We do too.
Fingers crossed, I hope it does. I mean,
It's amazing how many people's out here. I come in at Saturday morning, stand out here with the light on
Yeah.
the porch. And a lot of people will come up and say, can I stand up there and watch it go?
for sure.
And a lot of nice people from different areas.
All of the businesses around here benefit
Oh,
from it. So
yes, they
Dunworth's
do.
opens early. I'm a chef here at the inn. And our rooms are full with racers. If we lose our racers, that's, an
Yeah.
entire weekend, because it's not just the day the races the night before, all of the restaurants afterwards, so racers are gone, you've got all the people who are still here that are going to parties.
Are you speaking for Spin and Maria? Are you speaking for them, or are
On
you
behalf.
just doing this for yourself?
Oh, no, on behalf of them. I was asked by Katie Lowe, is the communications director for the JFK Shoes
Right.
for several years. Excuse me. And I actually approached her because I found out through Facebook kind of thing and asked her if I could offer. She didn't ask me, I offered.
Has Mike's reached out to any of the former racers to see if they could add a voice?
I don't know. I don't know that.
Do you know if she's gonna maybe contact the newspaper, get the newspaper involved?
One of the people who, so Katie and her husband own Tulo Run Co. And one of their racers works for the Herald Mail.
Oh, okay.
So
Not that
that,
the Herald Mail has that much of a pull anymore, but
it's
still.
it's anything.
Right, anything.
And really, now, we don't even have a paper, we do it in our paper. We don't
Yeah,
get a
you
newspaper
can
till
still
4
get it.
o'clock.
We don't wanna get into it. You can still get it.
It's still early morning.
You can still get it.
So I just reached out to Dan Sven at the CBD, because this is right up his alley.
Yeah.
And asked him if he was aware of the situation. I would imagine it's also something he does not want
No,
to see leave our county because of
business.
the number of people that it brings to our community.
It's a huge
And I mean,
attraction.
this is an international event,
It is.
you know?
So maybe one of the other ways to do would be to approach the county commissioner and say, so if it can't come out of hotel motel because that has to end whatever, can you do it as a grant? Can you hold this over till we have time to bridge this gap?
And
You
I
know,
think
and
that's,
getting us-
those are great suggestions, and I think Mike has gone down this avenue as well.
Okay.
Like, he's going down with a bike.
Okay, okay.
And Maria as well.
Well,
She-
that's not the story I heard, because I heard it more was like, if you don't do it, it's a threat, we're leaving.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe that didn't get communicated,
I
that we want a working relationship, it's, you know what I mean?
I don't believe Mike Spindler would say, if you're not, that don't sound
Doesn't
like.
sound like.
That is absolutely true. I think that they mapped the course just in case and approached Frederick County just in case, because it's better to have that plan B than no race at all.
Yeah, I've known him since the seventies, yeah,
He's a good man.
that doesn't sound like.
So what can we do about this?
We'll reach out to the county commissioners and ask them
Yeah,
what's
so if you
what.
want to drop a formal letter from the town to the county commissioner, how would you want to handle
Well, I would think Williamsport might want to get involved in it too.
You said somebody's talking to Williamsport,
I don't know that. Katie may have someone doing
they
Williamsport.
should.
Yes, and
Bill Brady's a pretty good guy.
I'm sorry, Bill.
The mayor.
The mayor,
Okay,
Bill Brady,
I'll ask Katie this evening. Yes, sir,
to talk to him, because it's gonna affect them too.
of course. Of course, everything from here to there. Big old 50-mile horseshoe, everything in between.
Downsville little general store, that's probably their biggest business day there
Yeah, and
is.
we go past the new sheets now too, you know,
Yeah,
the
the new
sheets
sheets,
right
yeah.
there. So I can see people ducking in there and getting an energy drink for the last push, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we need to make some noise. We don't wanna see it leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
And-
Ken might want to see it leave.
No.
It's only one day.
No, I don't.
It's only one
There's
day.
no way out.
And Spice is gonna come to the EDC meeting on Wednesday. We're gonna talk about raise. I don't know, like Dan, I would think that Mike would have contacted Dan Sped, and that would have been his first point of contact.
He may have, I don't know.
But just in case, you know, because he wants to see sports growing in Washington County, and the fact remains that they will still provide you with the services, you just need the money is good. Because when Audrey was working on the bicycle races, after 2 years, they did not want to provide the service anymore. It wasn't about funding, it's simply they didn't want to provide the service. So,
So are we looking at personal contact or we want to
All
count?
of, I think all of us all contact them, but we can do a letter and I'll sign it,
Need a motion for that?
if you like.
Like make a motion and we draft a strongly worded letter to the county.
Well, I think you need to draft, if you're gonna draft a letter, my personal opinion, you should draft it to the race committee and the county commissioners saying we would like to see the race day in Washington. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it has to be a mutual working together thing, because,
Make sure she has an address.
You know what I mean?
To you all.
Okay.
Yeah.
because unfortunately, at this point, even if the county commissioner give them money, they might decide they're moving it in and out. Because
I'll amend that
they'll-
motion
you know.
and include what Councilmember Kearns.
To me, I feel like it has to be
We
we
have a
gotta get
motion,
back to the drawing table and work together.
we have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and a second to send a letter not only to the county commissioners, but to the race people, saying that we want to keep it in Boonesboro,
CBB.
and we can include the
Yeah.
CBG too.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Much better.
CDB.
B, thank you, the right one in there.
And coffee.
Oh, we have a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, abstain.
Thanks for talking, because I waited 90
Yeah,
minutes.
we're sorry you had to wait.
What?
Anything else from the council?
I have one quick thing.
Yes, sir.
Eric, you talk.
Thanks for
Thank you, Spuddy.
All right, what we got, Eric?
Commission told you that.
That's why I said that, just for that.
Bye,
That's why I
guys.
said that.
Thank you.
I told that. Good night, you guys.
We got it, Eric.
What have I got? I just bring this up because of our last planning commission meeting. We had a particular topic that went on for 90 minutes, which was on the agenda, but it took entirely too long. And there was various studies of that meeting, length and effectiveness, all that. So, and that was a lot of back and forth discussion. So I was going to suggest, I guess I'm going to suggest it to Drew, but he's not here, that they should discuss these agenda items with whoever's preparing the schedule, in that case it's Drew, and allow time for back and forth discussion. But don't allow something to go on that long. If something goes that long, the chair should cut it off and say, we'll address that in a subsequent meeting under other business. So that was all I'm going to say, because that meeting was just out of control.
That gets back to maybe if we're gonna do kind of some training, maybe we need to open it up to members of any
All
commission.
commissions.
You know what I mean, and chairs, if they wanna learn, like, you know, some how to keep the meeting on track.
So that's all I'm gonna say.
I just got a couple of things too. BMUC last met, and it was recommended by the BMUC to bring it to the mayor and council that we replace the water line from King Road all the way to the square. Because we're already working with the deficiencies in the line as it is with water leaks. And if we're gonna try to Band-Aid the problem and just replace that one section, then we're just gonna pressurize the system again because there's another section that's got a narrower size pipe. So anyway, their recommendation is that we put the RFP together to replace the water line from King Road to the square and work with streetscape projects, which I'm not familiar with that. Rachel's shaking her head.
I know that Greg reported that. I think that was a misunderstanding.
Okay,
Drew had suggested that we contact State Highway because if we're gonna have the road torn up
Right.
and everything, see if State Highway wants to do new sidewalks under streetscape. I do not think State Highway will contribute funding towards this.
okay.
Yeah, unless I know I wasn't there, but what I am aware of for the streetscapes, it was a sidewalk, like maybe they'll help out with stuff, not that they will help with funding.
Okay, and the only other part of that is that there are some lead joints that will be replaced in there, so that will work towards that money grant that we have. So anyway, I just wanted to bring it to your attention, to see if we could talk about it, to see if you'd be in favor of doing the RFP for the entire section, to get a price.
Now, aren't we gonna do Potomac Street?
That is.
That is King Road.
If we do an RFP for the
But
whole
wouldn't King
thing,
Road be tied into that?
From King Road. Howard.
From King Road,
From
not
King Road.
King
So, so this is not something that we've already approved. We've
No.
already approved this.
you guys approved
We-
replacing the 4-inch portions of the bottleneck. The BMUC, if I'm not mistaken,
When I had-
wants to do the 6 and the 8-inch portions as well.
Right.
But if you do an RFP for it, it's expected then that we're gonna do the project. The preliminary price estimate that we have just for the 4-inch section is $750,000. And that's 1,100 feet, there's 300 or 3,300, so 3 times as much if you do the 6 and 8-inch. So we're talking 3 times $750,000 is the estimate, it's not a guarantee.
Right.
But before you do an RFP for that, I think you should really evaluate if we want to commit that amount of money. I know it's the BMUC's recommendation and they're the experts on it, but if we don't have the money, then we don't have the money. That's my concern.
Right.
So are you suggesting we do a preliminary cost? estimate?
I already
As
asked-
we're working in the budget.
I already asked Drew to ask Mid-Atlantic if they could quote how much it would be to do the whole
Okay.
thing. Maybe it's not exactly 3 times as much, maybe because of all the, assembling on site and everything, maybe it's only
There might
twice
be
as
some,
much.
there might be
and
some cost savings, but we need to find out.
I just think if you post an RFP, then it's gonna be expected you do it, and if that price is way more than we can swing, then we're kind of stuck doing the projects. Kind of,
Okay.
No,
I don't know if you do an RFP, you have to do a project, right? There's no obligation, you have to accept it, do a project. But I understand what she's
I
saying.
mean, and I'm not
She's
saying that we
that
wanna
you might need to
do
some
it to
preliminary
try to
number.
irritate contractors from bidding, but I'm just saying, we gotta find out what the cost is,
Yes.
so that we can say either we can or we can't.
Well, I think as we're doing our budgeting process and our capital improvements thing, you put that in your wish list and an estimated.
Greg was pretty adamant about it, it's just gonna start to break.
And I understand, I totally get it,
Well,
you know.
let me ask this, Tony Nelson, if I remember correctly, maybe I don't, when we were talking about the 1,100 foot piece, right? I thought Greg said the additional piece would be less than the 1,100 foot piece length.
He said that the additional would be from 111 to 230.
Yeah, I thought he said that was
Potomac
extra
Street.
1,100 feet.
So anyway, we need to at least consider what our cost would be. And then go from there with the budgeting process and at least try to see if we can.
Well, it sounds to me like we first gotta fix our shortfall for the Crestview bypass, or the Crestview valve project, right?
And
Pressure project.
If
we're
And then we gotta come up with money for the
we're in a
Intersections,
decent
we've
place.
got those projects
Yeah,
started
We're in a
now.
decent place with the EPA money. We, feel pretty good about that.
Okay.
I said potentially.
Right, but we still could be somewhat short. We don't know what that number is. But I just think we need to get all of our ducks in a row so that we know our money cost and where we are. Another thing that we kind of briefly mentioned was that the BMUC did approve one additional EDU for the ambulance company expansion. And that conversation did include that if they get another water tap, then their expansion is going to be required. They purchase 2 sewer taps because they have no sewer connections at all. And they are aware of that. We talked a couple of times over the last year about the honorary naming of the dewatering press in honor of Ray Huffman. And I know that kind of fell off the radar, but they brought that back up, and they also want to also name the new reservoir in honor and recognition of Stu Mullendorf. So they brought those 2 recommendations. I said, I know the one recommendation was already approved from Ray, but I said, I'll just mention them both briefly. I said, I'll bring them both back to the council at the workshop. So we want to name the dewatering press for Ray, and we want to name the reservoir for Stu Mullendorf. So that's for us to consider.
Why don't you bring it up at the mayor and council meeting?
I can do
Should we put that on the agenda?
Bring it, oh, he can bring it up underneath his report.
Okay, I didn't know if that
Yeah, we can
meeting
make a
something
motion.
needed to be on there.
Why don't we put it on the agenda?
I don't know.
We've already
I know we
approved.
already approved from
We've
Mr.
approved
Hoffman.
Ray's, okay.
Yeah, I know that too. So if you just want to put the recognition for the reservoir on the agenda, then I'll do that. Okay. I think that's everything.
Anybody else have anything to bring before the council? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Do I have a
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any
Girls
other
side of the
discussion?
table.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same.
Oh, no, man, the grant money's going down and down after they keep bringing stuff up.
Motion carries, meeting adjourned. Thank you all, have a good evening.